Terry Talks with Terry Gillis.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another Terry Talk. Exciting times here in Canada. One of the things, of course, everyone knows is never, ever, ever talk about religion and politics. So this week I'm going to talk about politics. That's right. I'm jumping in. Just over the weekend, federal election in Canada was announced by the Prime Minister, dissolved Parliament. So right in the middle of hey, isn't there a pandemic going on right now? We're going to have an election in Canada. So despite the fact that a lot of people are scratching their head on that one, I want to draw your attention to another questionable aspect that will come out inevitably and starting to see it's already happening with respect to yet another election. And this is probably true the world over. But in Canada here specifically, what we're going to see over the next little while, and I see some of the parties have already started to announce this, is they are going to create jobs. Job creation is our number one priority. Jobs, jobs, jobs. We will be the jobs party. Job, 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 blah, 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 blah. Interesting. Why am I kind of poo-pooing that a little bit? Well, just this last week, I was driving through an industrial part of the city, and every single business that I drove by had a now hiring or a help wanted sign on the outside of the building. And when you look at some of the numbers and some of the data that are coming out, yeah, the unemployment rate is still a little bit high, but there are an unbelievable amount of jobs that remain unfilled. Many of our customers we're talking to are struggling. They're struggling to hang on to the talent because people are starting to hit the exits. They're having a hard time getting people just to show up when they hire them, and they're having a hard time finding talent. And just yesterday, I read that in some parts of the Maritimes, in some parts of Quebec, restaurants have reduced their hours because they can't get people to show up for work. Now, one of the caveats I read was this was all the direct result of the wage subsidy. Better to get paid by the government than to do nothing and work, do nothing, get paid by the government, and actually work for a wage. I disagree. Here's the thing, and some of you may be screaming at your screen right now, going, Terry, you've lost it. Hear me out. Number one, do we really need job creation, or is what we really need more help for people and organizations to find out where they best fit and why? We need to help companies build great cultures. We need to help companies ensure their employees are engaged, and we need people to stay not just because of the money. And when we look at what motivates people to show up for work, when we actually look at that data, pay is not as critical as you think. Every year around this time in September, I teach at a local university, and we talk about motivation. And I always bring up the fact that pay is not as critical as we think. A lot of the students are like, what are you talking about? So I suspect some of you may be thinking that as well, but the data is unequivocally clear on this. The pay is not the number one motivator, despite many of us think that it is. What is? What really matters, it turns out, are things like purpose, autonomy. Give me the ability to do my job, get out of my way, and mastery, that I get really, really good at my craft. Which brings me to the whole wage subsidy thing. Do you really know that many people that are happy just sitting around doing nothing? I don't. Yes, there's always exceptions to the rule. But if your workplace has really bad wages, number one, but more importantly, has a really bad environment, has terrible leaders, why wouldn't you just take the cash from the government and stay home? Who wants to put through that misery? Which is why I wrote Desuckify Work. Absolutely. And as the subtitle says, doesn't everybody deserve a great place to work? They do. And in this book, I tear apart a bunch of assumptions we make around work and things that we've been doing for years that maybe we need to change a little bit. So to all the political leaders out there, I'm sure watching this, I'm not sure we need to create more jobs, but rather I think we need to create awesome workplaces. Let's put our energies there where people thrive. And let me know, I'll get you a copy of the book, and you can read it on the campaign plane or the campaign bus or whatever, or just go to Amazon and grab a copy today. So bottom line is, let's start making awesome workplaces. Let's start desuckifying work. Let's give people a great, great opportunity to have a great place to work. Doesn't everybody deserve that? We'll see you next week.